It's Raphael Baker reporting for Fighting Pride. I'm just with the promoter, Josie Parker.
Nice.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Brilliant, fantastic. How's your stay in the UK? How are you finding the UK?
Busy.
Yeah?
Lots of lawyers and contracts, in a lot of media.
Right, okay, brilliant. The last time I saw you was in Manchester, obviously when Josie fought you with Fury. A lot of people, just going back to that fight, a lot of people thought, he didn't win the fight, it was a close fight. Just talk me through that. What did you take of that?
No, we know that Joseph won the fight. I think Huey fought well to a good plan. He's a difficult guy to look good against, so his technique and all that. So Joseph won nearly every round in our opinion. And the WBO reviewed it and backed that up, so we've moved on from that.
Right, brilliant. So how did you make of the press conference today? Do you think it was a bit subdued? Did you think it was going to go the way it did?
I think Eddie would have liked it to be more fiery. He probably wanted me to get right up in AJ's face or whatever, but, because it's the first official announcement, it didn't feel right coming too hard, There's a lot of time for that. There's still 2 months to go, and there's a weigh-in and the fight week press conference. But look, we didn't back off our statements that Joshua is mentally weaker than Joseph Parker, that Anthony Joshua's chin is not as good as Joseph Parker, and he's probably not as quick and his footwork's not as good as Joseph Parker. I said all of that 2 or 3 times there, but Eddie probably wanted me to fire up a bit more, so sorry Eddie, next time.
So you think obviously it's going to get ET towards obviously fight week?
No, I don't think the style of AJ or Parker are to roll around wrestling each other before the fight. They'll keep it until in the ring, and I'll keep explaining why I think that it's quite an even fight and why I think people shouldn't write Joseph Parker off.
Right. Was Anthony Joshua on Joseph Parker's radar this year?
Well, we reached out 3 years ago wanting to fight Joshua, and we knew we always would fight Joshua. And so, yeah, he's always been on the radar.
Right. Okay, so what did you make of Joshua's last performance against Takam?
I thought he looked average, and he started tiring in the later rounds, and I think he's lucky the fight got stopped. It could have easily gone the distance.
Right, so looking at Joseph's performance against Takam and Joshua's performance, who do you think, without being biased, put on the better performance? Break it down for me.
I think that Joseph fought a younger Takam who trained specifically for 10 weeks to fight Joseph Parker. Joshua, rumour is that Joshua got Takam when he wasn't even in training camp at only 10 days notice. So you can't compare, and I'm not going to, because there was a different Takam that fought Joshua.
Right, okay, so moving forward, I mean, if he does come through on obviously March the 31st, are you looking to obviously fight Wilder? Have you ever spoken to Wilder about a unification bout?
If Joseph beats Joshua, then Joshua will probably call for a rematch.
Right, there is a rematch clause.
Yeah, and after that, then we might look at the likes of Wilder.
Right. A lot of people saying that Joseph's going to crumble under pressure because there's 80,000 people, and let's be honest, it's the biggest crowd he's fought in. How do you think he's going to manage that? Because you did say that he's mentally he's the strongest person you ever come
He's
across.
unflappable, so that won't affect. When he walks in the ring, you go watch his fights on YouTube, he's smiling like it's his destiny. As he walks in the ring, he's grinning, he's relaxed, he's happy. And I've seen him in Pennsylvania fighting, and in Germany on Klitschko cards. To him, it makes no difference. A ring is a ring. It doesn't matter if it's in Cardiff or Manchester or Germany or New Zealand.
Right. Okay, so if he does well, in terms of styles, how do you think the style's going to gel? I know you're not a boxing expert, but from your point of view, how do you think the style's going to gel?
I think that because they both come forward and look to win by knockout and put pressure on, that the styles match up to make quite an explosive event for the fans watching.
Right, and do you believe, because Eddie said you're not confident that he's going to knock out Joseph?
No, we do believe.
You do believe.
Just because Eddie Hearn says it doesn't mean it's true.
Right.
We absolutely believe Joseph Parker wins the fight.
Right. And what do you think of Joshua as a fighter? Do you see chinks in the armour? What can you expose on fight night?
Well, he's mentally a little rattled. I think we can see that.
Do you think he was rattled today at all?
Look, I think he came prepared with how to address the issues of the Federer talk and the mental toughness and the chin. And that tells you that he was thinking about it and trying to figure out how to address it. It was not defensive, but it was almost defending himself for some of those statements, and the allegations have been dropped, which by the way, there's footage, and he didn't go through all of them either, but today wasn't the occasion for me to make a list and read them out one by one.
Right. So obviously you do believe he's got a Glassjaw, and
I believe Glassjaw is strong. I think he's got a questionable chin, and it is definitely not as good as Joseph Parker's. And so, is it glass? It might be by the end of his career. It's probably on its way.
Right. And Joseph Parker's never been dropped in amateur or pro, has it?
Never.
Right. So, eventually, could you see this going? If it goes 12 rounds, are you favouring your fight? If it goes 12 rounds on points, are you favouring? Obviously, he will get the points decision, although he's not fighting.
I prefer he stopped it and not left it to the judges.
You're not confident in the judges?
No, it's just better to win by stoppage than leave it to the judges. Right. But he's won fights on points as well. So
right. Okay. So what's your plan now moving forward?
Joe will go back into training camp, and we'll work with Eddie to promote the fights, and business as usual.
Okay. Listen, it's been great catching up with you. We'll see you on Fight Week. Thanks, pal.
Cheers.